Welcome back to another episode of
EntrepreNugents.
EntrepreNugents. Oh man, getting right down to business this time. This week started off Sunday doing some preview shows, kind of some ticklers, some sneak peeks for the Entrepreneurship show on Monday. So that went well. Actually went extremely well.
Yeah, it was good.
Really need to incorporate that into what I do. Trying to formulate some things in terms of social media planning because Facebook is where my community is, and then YouTube is the channel. I'm trying to grow both.
Yeah.
But I want organic traffic going from the group to the channel. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the show itself though.
It was good.
Julian was on the show. So Julian hit me up this morning and he was like, dude, a friend of mine shared this show in like 1,000 different groups. So I was like, what? So he asked me to go and check like how many views the show has. Fam, 1.3K views.
It was at like what, 2 something?
It was at 2 something.
I was blown away.
Like 2 something was already like on track to be one of our most watched shows.
Yeah.
But at 1.3,
out the park. I couldn't believe it.
That is amazing. The power of social media, the power of sharing,
Yeah.
and the power of content. I don't know a person on the planet that would not benefit from hearing what was said on that show. It doesn't matter if you're in business for yourself, you're working for someone. It doesn't matter. You need to hear the content. All right, I'm moving. Let's move on because I don't want to stay there. Go and watch the show. Okay.
Yeah. So the week started off really well. I got a call from Don Daniel. I did his website for him, thepillmethod.com.
The Pill Method. Yo, Don Daniel.
Don Daniel is
That's my dude.
He's a really cool dude. He was in my BNI group as well, and what he does, you gotta check it out. Like, if you have a home, you have a mortgage, you have loans, you've got to look at what he does with that, with how you can pay that off in like 10 years, a 30-year mortgage in 10 years. Thepillmethod.com. So he considers, everyone that works with him, the webmaster, the marketing person, as his team.
Yes.
So there is a magazine here in the Huntsville area that's doing an article on him. So they wanted to take a picture of him. So he was like, yeah, cool. But I also want a picture of my team. So he called me up and said, would you like to do a photo shoot? Would love to have my team there as well, not just of me. So I was like, if you would have me, I'll come. So ran over there and we got the team together, got a picture. When the magazine comes out, I will get a copy and show you guys the picture as well.
Yes, we'll share the link to it as well.
Yeah.
Don Daniel's good people.
Yeah.
You gotta have good people, man. You gotta have good people in your corner in this entrepreneurship journey. Yeah. Did you have anything else? It was a.
This week, oh my goodness, it was one of the busiest weeks I have ever had. I felt like I wasn't able to take a breath because everything had to happen this week. Projects that I wanted to end earlier ended up all closing this week, and I'm just like, why? I closed. One of the large contracts I told you about before, I got 2 large nonprofit contracts. They both had to be launched this week.
Wow.
The first one was Southeastern Conference, Southeastern California Conference. Their education department has its own website with tons of documents and information on there. The website was redone in 1996. So can you imagine? So they really needed a facelift. So they reached out to me.
Yeah.
BT is my guy.
Yeah, man.
He's the person who put them in contact with me. So
Brian Taylor.
So appreciative of Brian. So I did their site. They wanted to launch it last week, but there were some little things that they needed to get done. So I was like, let's just do it this week. So launched it this week and they absolutely loved it. Like, there were no negative feedback. There weren't any changes. They just loved it so much. Like, I got a personal message from the superintendent who had to reach out and say, thank you so much for bringing us into the 21st century. So that went really well. Also launched the Decatur SDA Church website. They are based in Georgia. Pastor Darrell Palms, he reached out to me. I'm not really sure how he found me, but he also reached out to me and said, please redo our site because we want to get off this other platform and all this other stuff. So we were supposed to launch maybe 2 weeks ago, but it ended up that we ended up launching this week as well. So definitely check out the site. It's DecaturSDAchurch.org. And it's a well done site. I gotta say, it looks good. And finally, I also told you about my friend from AUC who reached out to have her site done as well. We launched it as well. I'm telling you, this week I was running like crazy. So if you didn't see me on social media, if you didn't hear from me at all, I was at my desk at the computer. Her website is called rebornwellness.com, REBOURNE wellness.com, and she specializes in therapy counseling. So we launched her site. Right, it really is, and this is the perfect time for her to really launch her site and get out there. Check out her website. She's doing amazing things. Kanita Bourne, LCSW. So glad that she decided to work with me on this project. I appreciate her coming to me, and the site is working. It looks great. Great. I'm just grateful for all the business that people are trusting me with their sites. So
closed projects.
Yes.
Mean, okay, the way we do it at least, and this is just, again, free stuff. Closed projects means paid projects.
Yes.
We don't launch a site until the site is paid for. Did you get that? Okay. I'm pausing for effect. But there are some other details that Kanique did not share, and well, I won't dive into all of them. But some of these sites not only needed a faceless, they needed to be moved.
Migrations.
Some folks, the previous person did not give them access to everything, and then their pieces just kind of left all over the place. Man, folks.
There's a lot. There's a lot I did not say. Some, like one site, I had nothing to pull pictures from, nothing.
Yeah,
like
man.
I had to work a miracle, and the miracle worked. Thank you, Jesus.
These are the kinds of things I'm saying. Like, man, you got to get somebody who's going to really partner with you. It's not so much that these other people didn't necessarily know what they're doing, but they didn't really know what they're doing. But it's really more from the standpoint of people can get really malicious because they recognize they're holding you over a barrel. Even with us, people are way too trusting. And they just, okay, well, you keep, you need to have a login. You need to have, this is your site. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's this the whole security side of me. Every time I hear some of that stuff, I'm like, man, we've got to figure out ways to get some of these clients on for web maintenance and security because they could be taken advantage of in such a major way.
They really can. And like, for example, a client will say, here's my login and password, but I'm like, hold up, wait. Oh. This platform allows you to just give me delegate access where I just have access to your products. I can't purchase anything. So I usually try and tell them, hold on to your stuff. Or if I absolutely have to get that login, I'm like, change it as soon as I'm done.
Yeah,
change it as soon as I'm done.
And that's a whole component. I don't really care what your vocation is, what your discipline is, what area, industry your business is in. When people are trusting you with stuff like that, yes, that's nice, and you may be tempted to be flattered, but you need to protect yourself.
Yes.
Make sure it's not a phone conversation where you tell them, "Hey, I'm done with your login. Change your password." It needs to be an email so that you can go back to that. Okay. Again, these are free items. Tuesday I met. Man, I had meetings upon meetings. So I met with Ontario Conference to do some planning for their it's called a virtual communication summit. So we were doing some planning for that. Just kind of ideation, really, more so than anything else. It wasn't really a paid session, although they are going to book a paid session for the communications director. They're going to book a session with me, but then I think they're going to also book another session for training on StreamYard with their producers and a few other people as well. So excited about that. Excited to be a speaker at the conference, so excited for that. But that was overlapped with another meeting I had with so last week I told you DJ Batiste asked me to meet with his piano school director, and we did meet. I talked with him about a number of things. I don't think it's going to work out in terms of me assisting them, because for them to pull off a virtual piano recital would require every student to have a USB audio interface. And I'm not even going to go into what that is. You're just going to have to go to how it all works for that part. But they would need a USB audio interface, and they would need to plug their piano into that. and then have that be the microphone for Zoom anyway.
And so glad you mentioned that, because the kids had their official graduation where they got their big trophies and everything. And just chatting with the teachers, a husband and wife team, we were just chatting, just talking about random stuff, and they were like, so what do you do? So I told them what I do, and also mentioned we do live streaming and so forth. And the husband piped up, he was like, oh, live streaming, we're interested in getting some of our stuff online and blah 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 blah. And we just chatted about some stuff, and I thought that was so cool, because we've never really talked to them about what we do, but to actually give them some tips and ideas on how to get their music and their classes online was really cool. And they said that they will reach out to us for some consultation as well. So
we exchanged them. That was actually Saturday. That was last Sabbath, a week ago tomorrow. So it was, that was cool. And the other thing that happened on Saturday was that the Bridge did their first pre-recorded praise and worship, which is a whole other thing. But definitely something I'm happy about, because it means less overhead for the team. And what we're going to be doing going forward is trying to plan in some weeks where we're off. So I'm excited about that, and looking forward to how that will. I mean, because every time, let me tell you, this is again another freebie. The volunteer work that I'm doing at the Bridge, everything that I'm doing there is what people are paying me to do for them in terms of media consulting. Every single thing that I'm learning and building out and perfecting with the Bridge, in my volunteer work, my ministry for the Lord, God is then bringing people to us who I can then be of service to for a fee.
Ain't God good?
I mean, that's such a good God. So every time we shift something up, I'm like, this could work for something else. And so, excited about that as well. Excited about all that I'm learning in that space. I did meet with the guy who watched the men's conference and then referred his church to me for streaming services. I did meet with them, and I won't lie, it's just crazy how God works these things out. I thought so it's a 5-week thing. I'm like, 4 nights a week, there's just no way that they're gonna book me, right? And even if they were to want to book me, I can't commit to 5 weeks. So in my mind, I was just like, okay, God, just give me the words, help me to slow myself down, because I'm immediately moving my mind towards get off the call, because you're not gonna make any money here. After engaging with this lady for a little bit, talking through some of what she was looking for, I was able to come up with a package, like a streaming package that I could create for her. And then that package would include some training, and then she and her team can produce the show. The package also includes 1 hour of live production where I would produce maybe their first or second show. So they booked it. And I sent the lady the invoice, and I went to sleep. And I wake up the next morning and Kanique is like, yo, she paid it. I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, so God is just out of control. But it's just crazy how he just orchestrates these things and puts the little breadcrumbs together.
Does.
And in prepping for that project, I learned how to do something that I can now add in as an additional thing in the streaming package. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, it's just amazing to me. I have one more, but I'm gonna pause now because I've been talking for a while.
So Kirk introduced me to Kimmy. How do I pronounce it? Kimmy Rue, and she's a friend of Kirk's sister Kim. Kimberly.
Yeah, Kimberly.
And she works for a creative agency called WeVideo, and they do graphic design, branding, and a bunch of other stuff. So she hit me up, would you like to have like a meeting to just, see if we can work together? And I was like, sure. Right. Got on the Zoom call, and she brought in, I think, one of the partners or the owner, I'm not sure. Really cool guy. We all just were chatting and sharing a lot of information between each other. It went so well. I was so excited about meeting with them, because now I can send them clients who need branding services.
Right.
And they also have clients who need web services. So it's just a easy collab right there.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed talking with them. Like, they were so cool, so chill. You know, when you get to talk to some people, it's not such an easy
it doesn't flow.
thing. It doesn't flow, but man, it flowed. And
Yeah.
I'm just so excited about the possibility of working with them.
I'm excited about that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Kimmy Rue is a good friend of my sister, Kimberly, but, you know, she's my friend as well. We all went to Andrews together, and it was just, I was chatting with her about Kim's birthday party, which was this past week as well. Surprise birthday party for Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Kim. Anyway, I was talking with her about that, and then she was like, hey, I see that you guys are doing some web stuff. I'd love to meet with you. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. So I put her in touch with Kanique, and I'm so glad that they were able to meet. That's excellent. That's phenomenal. So Kim's birthday party was Wednesday night. And then the next morning, the speaking engagement that I had to do for EGU was that morning. Let me say, I love to speak. And I know that we have said, oh, you at that level, this, that, this. I think we've alluded a lot to what's happening here. I can't really share the client's name. It's that big a client. Okay. And so, man, let me just say, 45 minutes, I prepared. I had a call with EGU before the session, and he just poured into me. He was just like, bro, you've got this. I would not have recommended your name if I didn't believe in you. So I was like, I appreciate that, Doc. And he jumped on the meeting as well. He messaged me before we even got off saying, you knocked it out the park. Now, I mean, let me be clear. So I was nervous, but I was prepared. The content was in my wheelhouse. That's the second thing. And then the last thing is, I was prayed up. I mean, just to be quite honest and quite frank with you, I was prayed up. Mm-hmm. And so even as I had prepared my notes, different things I wanted to share and say, I could let go of the notes a little bit and just kind of freestyle some, because I could feel that inspiration coming from God, and just some of the things that I shared and the way that I put it, I would never have written it down. And even the host for the show that I was on, the program that I was speaking for, even she was like, man, I've never heard anybody put it in those terms before. It's just, so again, they are already looking to book me again.
No.
I mean, so the I can't say who the client is, and I'm definitely not going to say how much I got paid, but
hallelujah.
We need to invest more in this part of
Yes.
of the businesses.
Yes.
The speaking is where more investment needs to be made, because the return on the investment is greater. And that's, you know, again, that's, you know, one of the things that we're talking about in terms of the entrepreneurship journey is the pivots that you need to make, understanding.
Yes.
I mean, my boy Leslie this week kind of put out a message talking about how he's closing down a certain part of his business. And why is he doing that? Because his efforts are better served in this other area of his business where he's cleaning up. So with the little bit of effort that he's put into that side of the business, he's making majority of his money. So it's time to turn the corner. And he's not, anyway, I'm saying that to say there are some things that we're trying to turn the corner on as well. For us, we're in this beginning phase, we're dabbling.
Yeah.
Where's our sweet spot? What are people seeking us out for? We're starting to see that now. And we want to brand on that and corner the market on that, and, you know, kind of set up our shop, you know, take down the temporary structures and put something up permanent, you know what I mean? So excited, man. Like, words cannot describe how excited I am about some of the, you know, the things that have happened and the opportunities that are coming in, and they're still coming in. Even now, there's at least one or two other streaming type opportunities that may materialize, people who are booking time. I'm just amazed at what God is doing. The Oakwood Academy is there. I've been working there all you know, throughout the week, off and on, somewhat, as we prepare, especially for the school year. So excited about that as well, and some of the things that we're able to bring to, you know, set them up to be able to do, especially when you consider that a lot of their stuff is going to be online. So technology is going to be such a critical piece of what they're doing as they go into the school year. But yeah, I don't know if you had anything else.
That's it for me.
You know, the truth of the matter is, even as I look at the week, and I see on the calendar some of the things that were scheduled, and it brings a smile to my face, because I'm like, man, those are some milestones, and just excited about what God is doing. But I also think about the other moments of trepidation and fear and self-doubt, imposter syndrome, where, I mean, how many times have I spoken and I still get nervous, you know? It's just, even as I think about it, it's just like there's a balancing act that is there as well. So, you know, I say embrace all of it. You know, I don't say don't run from any of those emotions. Embrace every piece of it, because that in its totality is the entrepreneurship journey. It isn't going to be all confidence. You're gonna have to fight through some of these pieces that are there in your mind, that are those voices that are telling you, "Is it not you?" Or better yet, you're not gonna get paid, and they're not gonna pay you for this. Are you worth that amount? Seriously speaking, I'm just putting it all out there. This is our vlog, you know. So we're sharing it, man, and that's honestly the feeling that I have on a regular basis. It's subsiding. It is subsiding, but even as you put together the invoice, and it's like, yo, are they gonna pay this joint?
Yeah, that is so true that you said that, because I forgot. There's a lady that reached out to me. A friend of hers told her about me, and she just wanted me to look at her site real quick and, you know, give some feedback and help her fix a couple of things. And I just figured, let me just help this lady out, because she's trying to do this for her son. So I had no intentions of charging her. And like coming to the end of the meeting, she was like, you know, I know your time is not free, so like, you know, send me that invoice, do you Cash App, whatever, send it to me and I'll pay you. And I was just like, okay. And she paid as soon as. So
you know, we just have to. I don't know what will be or maybe it's set up in a way that you will always have that little bit of doubt to keep you humble. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it is, it's there, and you do have to fight through it.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you put out a proposal and it works and you get paid, you still have that trepidation, that fear that, oh man, this joint it's really not worth this. Like, who told me I should be charging this amount of money for this joint? And it's like, man, what am I really doing for them? I mean, how much time is that? And you start to kind of rationalize that thing down. It's not good. Set your price, stick to it, and just keep moving. The clients that are for you, God will orchestrate them for you. Be realistic. Don't overcharge. Don't overcharge, but don't undercharge just because what you have is uniquely yours. Even if somebody else does it, they don't do it the way you do it. And so what you bring to the table is what makes that secret sauce. That's what makes it special. And that's what makes it your price. And so, yeah, man, I'm excited about that realization that I'm coming to, and excited about this area that we're in the journey. Whew, it's been a week. Later, fam.